What's the story, Morning Glory? What's the word, Hummingbird? Thank you so much for clicking on my channel and for joining me for this review of Love and Marriage Huntsville Season 5, Episode 13, To Be or Yacht to Be. Okay, let's get into it. I'm not going to do a play-by-play because I think this was more so of a filler episode, so I'm just going to talk about the things that really stuck out to me. First of all, let's talk about Sugar Mama. Sugar Mama is absolutely adorable. I cannot get enough of that baby. If Melody and Martell did nothing else right, what they did do was create some beautiful, charismatic, well behaved, intelligent children. All of their children are just A1, and Sugar Mama stole my heart. So, moving on from there, I just want to talk about Martell real quick. Martell is so petty. He is so insanely petty. So, when they were on the yacht, he kept on complaining about how Melody kept on throwing jabs at him, and he wanted to show that he was the bigger man by not like responding or reacting to the things that she was saying, which really wasn't much. She really wasn't saying anything completely out of pocket. So I don't know what he was talking about, but he's so petty that any little thing that someone says that's not praising him, he considers it, oh, you're throwing a jab at me. So that was annoying as hell. And when she made that little joke about, hey, Martell, can we play my song? You know, the song that chronicled how her relationship fell apart, you know, where she claims wasn't about Martell, but we all know that it was. He got really like butthurt about that. You could tell, you can see the look on his face that he was like bothered by that when she said that. Even though she was just joking, he was clearly bothered by that. And that was one of the examples that they gave of her throwing jabs at him. There were some other things that she said, I can't remember, that really bothered the hell out of him, but he's just super sensitive and very petty. Now, when they were all sitting together, it was him, Melody, and both of their moms. And Melody was trying to get to the root of the problem by asking Miss Melanie, Martell's mom, like, you know, how was their upbringing? Were they allowed to express themselves? Were they allowed to be emotional? And I don't know if Miss Marlene knew where Melody was going, and so that's why she was kind of like taking the question somewhere else. Like she really didn't want to answer directly what Melody was saying, or if Miss Marlene was just that obtuse and did not know what the hell Melody was talking about. But every time that Melody was asking about, you know, Martell's upbringing and like, were they allowed to communicate how they felt, communicate what they thought? Marlene talked about how, you know, she was a single mom and she worked really hard. And when her kids were out of line, she would beat them. And that really wasn't answering the question. And obviously, you know, Melody was just trying to connect the dots and try to figure out why Martell is the way that he is, because it has a lot to do with the upbringing. But, you know, she didn't want to go there. So maybe she was just the kind of mom that, you know, was working so hard and working so much to keep things going, to keep food on the table, to keep a roof over their head, that she really didn't give her children the time that she really should have, or the nurturing that they really wanted. You know, all she did was provide and discipline, and that was it. I don't know. But yeah, Miss Melanie didn't really answer the question the way that I wanted her to answer the question. And once again, Martell has to prove that he's the victim, you know, talking about how, you know, Melody was throwing jabs at him, but he was, you know, he's grown and he's matured so much, and since the divorce, that, you know, normally he would react, but he has better control of himself and he doesn't react. And he likes to talk about how he was also hurt in the divorce. The reason why you're hurt in the divorce does not matter, Martell, is because you caused everything. That's why it doesn't matter. That's why you don't have to mention all the time that, you know, you were also a victim of whatever, that the divorce hurt you, Melody cheated on you. We don't want to hear that, because the things that you did is what we saw, is what was exposed. So, and it was low down and dirty, the things that you did. So, miss us with the whole Martell is also a victim. We don't care. Just stop, Martell. And so moving on from there, they had all gone out to dinner, and sneaky Martell, he had it arranged to where the kids and the moms were going to have their own table, and him and Melody were going to have a table of their own, because he wanted an opportunity to talk to Melody, because he knew that if he straight up asked Melody, can we have an opportunity to talk one-on-one, she was going to say no. Melody keeps on talking about how Martell is trying to get back with her. I don't know if that's what Martell is trying to do, but you could tell that there's something in Martell. You can kind of see that he does regret his family breaking up. It's possible that he wants to get back with Melody, but him and Melody are like oil and water. They just do not get along. And this trip was for the children, and they did the best they could, but it was a struggle for them. They struggle. They had a couple of hiccups. They just don't get along. They just do not communicate well at all. But anyways, back at the dinner. So when they're at the dinner, he maneuvered to where it was just going to be him and Melody at the table, because he wanted to talk about their relationship. And that's something that Melody does not want to do. So when he started talking about how, how I had an issue with you not doing certain things. And Melody's like, okay, here we go again. You're talking about certain acts or favors that I didn't do for you in the bedroom. And Martell was like, no, it wasn't just that. And what Martell was trying to say, because he had mentioned this before to Marceau, what he was trying to say to Melody, but Melody really wasn't letting him speak, or giving him the opportunity to really express himself. He was trying to say that at first I was blaming you for the reasons of why I cheated, because you weren't doing certain things for me. Then I realized that ultimately it was my fault to drive you away from me to where you didn't want to do certain things with me. That's what he was trying to let Melody know. And I think eventually he did get it out. And so at the dinner, it was like they're making progress. He says, I began to realize that I was doing things to push you away, to make you not want to be intimate with me, to where I felt like I needed to go to another female to satisfy my needs. But I realized that, it was my fault, because I was pushing you away. I was doing things to push you away, to make you shut down on me. Okay. And then she understood and she received it. And it looked like they had come to an understanding. Let me see here. The dinner. Okay. Martell says he wanted Melody to see. Okay. Oh, and then he was like very apologetic again. He apologized again. And, she asked him, well, why is this apology different from the other apologies? And he told her, well, the other apologies, I was also blaming you. This apology is different because I'm taking full accountability of the part that I played in the demise of our marriage. And he can no longer blame her for his actions. And so that's when Melody was like, okay, I understand. I hear you and I receive it. Then the next day, Melody started to say to him how, so far the trip was going good. And she really wanted him to understand that they need to leave the past in the past. And then he kind of got, in his confessional, he said he was hoping that they could talk about what led to the cheating and, what led him to go cheat. So in the confessional, it was like we're back to square one, where he was trying to put blame on Melody again. Where at the dinner, he was taking full accountability of pushing his wife away. And now in the confessional, he's saying, I wanted to talk more about, what drove me to cheat. It don't matter you should not have been cheating to begin with. It doesn't matter what drove you to cheat. Okay. When you felt like you wanted to go outside of your marriage, you had options, but you took the worst one of all. You decided to be deceptive and to be dishonest and to go outside your marriage. You should have talked to your wife, try to fix the problem, or talk to your wife and end the marriage, legally, respectfully. Whatever. What drove you to cheat? There's nothing should ever drive you to cheat on your spouse. Absolutely nothing, because we're adults. We're not robots. We're not children. We can control our actions. We can control the things that we do. So we don't want to hear that, Martella. What drove you to cheat? That's like, no. No, if you feel like you're done with your wife, then be done with your wife. Get a divorce and move on. So That's basically all that I wanted to say. Oh, this is another example of Martell being very petty. When he told her, "Thank you for allowing me to have the kids for my book signing when it wasn't even my weekend." And Melody said, "Oh, it's no problem. As long as you communicate with me and you respect boundaries, I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem with you taking the kids." And then he goes, "Well, you need to respect boundaries too, as long as you respect boundaries." When has she not respected your boundaries? When has she ever not respected your boundaries, Martell? Anyways, that's another. He's always tit for tat. When she says, "Well, as long as you do, you respect my boundaries, or you got to respect my boundaries too," that goes without saying. She's not the one that's trying to cause problems for you. You're the one that's always got something. Anyways, let's just move on from there. So let's talk about the Scott brothers. So Maurice goes over to see his brother Marceau, and he tells Marceau that Kimmy has cancer. And Marceau said, "Well, Tisha had told me about it, but Tisha had said that it wasn't for sure." And then they showed the clip of when Kimmy went to Tisha's period event, and had told Tisha that she had cancer. She specifically said, "I have cancer." So I don't know why Tisha related to Marceau as if it wasn't confirmed, but it doesn't matter. So Maurice tells his brother, "Yes, it's confirmed. It's 100% what it is. She does have cancer." And so they talk about that. And this was just a very raw moment. It was so raw and just so touching to see these brothers come together, and one brother, having to be there for the other one in this time of need. It was a very touching moment. And it was a moment that it was sad. It was heartbreaking to watch, to see how things like this, have such a wide effect. So things like this, I mean, like, cancer and terminal illnesses, not terminal, but, these type of illnesses have such a wide effect on people. And so Maurice then says that he puts a lot of blame on himself because he had pushed Kimmy to quit her nursing job so that she could do real estate. So when she quit her nursing job, either there was some type of issue with the insurance. I think there was a lapse. She had quit her nursing job, and when she got into real estate, I guess it was like a lapse in insurance. So then when she got new insurance, it was too soon for her to go get her mammogram. And so she forgot to schedule it later. It slipped her mind because she couldn't get it where she normally gets it because of the whole insurance issue, getting new insurance and all of that. So she couldn't get it when she normally gets it. She was going to schedule it for later. It slipped her mind, and now here we are. So he blamed himself because he's like, if I hadn't pushed her to quit her nursing job, she would have gotten her mammogram when she normally gets them, and they would have caught it earlier. So he really blames himself for that. And so Marceau was trying to tell him, do not blame yourself. Stop it. Stop it right now, because it's just going to eat you up alive. Don't do that. You need to stop. It is what it is, and we got to deal with what we got to deal with now. Don't get stuck in the past of all the woulda, shoulda, couldas. It's not productive. It's not helpful. So let's just focus on the here and now and the future. So when Maurice was telling that story about how he felt all of this guilt for forcing her out of nursing and into real estate and causing this hiccup with the insurance, the look on Maurice's face, he was torn up. He felt a lot of guilt. And he said that he has not told Kimmy that story. This is the first time that he's talked about it, and he needed to talk about it. He needed to get that. He needed to get it off of his chest. And so luckily, he has someone to talk to that with, because if he would have kept that inside, man, it would have eaten him up so bad. So he finally got it out. So, okay. So Maurice, you got it out the way you were feeling. You let go of it, so let's just forget about it and move forward. So when they got up, and then he also said, Maurice also said to his brother, he says, I don't know if I should be real with Kimmy or to act like I have it together and that I'm strong. And Marceau said, be real. Whatever you're feeling, whatever you're going through, just go ahead and let her know. Don't pretend, don't put up a front, don't fake the funk, just be real, because it's okay for her to see you cry, be weak, just it's okay just to be exactly who you are. You don't have to put up a fake front. So this scene to me, I think this is the realest that we have ever seen Marceau and Maurice, because all of the time, Marceau is always acting like he knows everything and he's here to, shed knowledge on the rest of us. And Maurice acts like he's got it together. He's an attorney. He's in real estate. He's successful. He's got the formula for success. And this is like the most vulnerable that we've ever seen these two brothers. And it was so real and so raw for me to watch them that, I don't want to say that it was refreshing, but it was refreshing to see them as vulnerable humans and not superheroes and tough guys all the time. They were very, very vulnerable. And the hug that they gave each other broke my heart, because you can definitely see one brother desperately needing the other in this really, really dark moment. And they hugged each other, and it was just so beautiful and so touching. It really melted my heart for these two men who I've always given the side eye to. So I think that's where basically the episode ended. It was very, very touching. Martell is still out here, like I said, showing his whole butt, misbehaving, petty as hell. But yeah, whatever. Thank you so much for joining me. I really do appreciate it. On your way out, do not forget to rate the video. If you like this content, go ahead and subscribe, and I will definitely talk to you later. Bye.